Coming up today, President Park Geun-hye calls on lawmakers to swiftly pass a stimulus bill to reinvigorate the economy and create new jobs. She also pledges to listen to public concerns over the deployment of a US missile defense system. The Korean government denounces Japan over its latest territorial claims to Korea's easternmost Dokdo island. Seoul says Tokyo must immediately withdraw the claim. Plus, Korea bans sales of almost all Volkswagen and Audi cars, one of the most severe punishments globally for the German auto giant. Stay tuned for these stories and more. Hello to our viewers around the world. It's 6 a.m. on Wednesday, August 3rd here in Seoul. Thank you ever so much for joining us. I'm Mark Broom. We are going to kick things off at South Korea's top office. President Park Geun-hye had her say on a range of current issues on Tuesday, including the economy and the controversial deployment of a US missile defense system. The president was speaking at a cabinet meeting following her short, week-long vacation. Our Song Ji-sun starts us off.
The president marked her return from her holiday by encouraging Koreans to vacation in the country just as she did last week. President Park noted that the Korean economy is showing signs of recovery, growing 3.2% in the second quarter from last year, close to its potential growth rate. Putting emphasis on her drives to revive the economy and boost domestic demand, the president called on lawmakers to move forward with the government's fiscal stimulus proposal, saying a delay will not create jobs in a timely manner when there is a massive number of layoffs in the forecast following the government's corporate restructuring drive.
이번 추경 예산이 통과가 되면 6만 8천 개의 일자리를 창출할 수가 있는데 추경 처리가 늦어져서 효과가 바로 나타나지 않는다면 실직 위험에 직면한 근로자들의 불안이 커질 수밖에 없습니다.
President Park also touched on the chosen location for the missile defense system, THAAD. She stressed that Seoul and Washington's decision to deploy THAAD in Seongju, Gyeongsang-buk-do province, is aimed at protecting the public against North Korea's rising nuclear and missile threats, and called for national unity on security issues.
이제 저에게 남은 유일한 소명은 대통령으로서 나아가 국민을, 나라와 국민을 각종 위협으로부터 안전하게 지켜내는 것입니다. 그것을 위해서 전 세계의 국가들을 설득해서 북한이 핵과 미사일을 포기하도록 북한에 대한 지원을 끊고 우리나라와 긴밀히 공조하도록 만들고 있습니다.
President Park vowed to sit down with Seongju governor and local lawmakers to hear their opinions on the matter, while also pledging to continue her field visits to assess how well their policies are working to boost local economies. Song Ji-sun, Arirang News.
Now, the top US military commander in South Korea has moved to reassure the public that the THAAD missile defense system poses no health risk to nearby residents. General Vincent is also calling for more streamlined military information sharing between South Korea and other countries to better tackle North Korea's nuclear and missile threats. Kim Min-ji has more.
The commander of the U.S. Forces Korea says the decision to deploy the U.S. THAAD system to South Korea is the right move in light of growing provocations from North Korea. Speaking at a seminar hosted by the Korea Institute for Defense Analyses, General Vincent says the THAAD battery will be able to step up South Korea's defense capability.
We need to increase the layers of air and missile defense to counter the growing arsenal of missiles in North Korea. THAAD will add area protection and increase the ability to intercept at higher altitudes than we can without THAAD.
Seoul and Washington announced last month that they would deploy the THAAD system to Seongju, a county in the southeastern part of South Korea. But residents in the area have strongly opposed the deployment, calling for the annulment of the bilateral decision, driven by concerns the system's radar could affect their health as well as their core businesses. The four-star commander cited his experience regarding the deployment of such system in the past, saying it will not pose any harm to local residents.
When it comes to the safety in and around the radar system, no one will be closer to that radar than the soldiers underneath of my command. And I would not recklessly endanger those soldiers while they're protecting someone else. Neither would I allow them to endanger someone else they're trying to protect.
Saying that Seongju has the best possible footprint, he said facts regarding the battery need to be explained to the public so they can accept the deployment. As for the protection of Seoul and the metropolitan area, the commander said he will continue to procure Patriot PAC-3 advanced missiles to further enhance the layered defense system of which THAAD is part of. On top of that, Brooks said that South Korea should also step up sharing military information with countries beyond their alliance to better react to threats from Pyongyang. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
Now, the Korean government has slammed Japan for its fresh territorial claims to the Korea-controlled Dokdo islets. Seoul's defense and foreign ministries quickly issued statements on Tuesday reasserting Dokdo is, by every standard, Korean territory. Kim Hyun-bin with the details.
Korea's defense ministry has urged Japan to withdraw all of its false territorial claims to the Korea-controlled Dokdo islets, after Tokyo again renewed its claim to the Rocky Islets in its annual defense white paper on Tuesday. This is the 12th consecutive year Tokyo has made a claim in the document.
We strongly protest Japan's false claim to Dokdo in their defense white paper and urge Tokyo to correct it. If Japan continues to claim Dokdo, we'll certainly counter the action and move to secure our sovereign territory.
The ministry also summoned a defense attaché from the Japanese embassy in Seoul and submitted a formal protest against the document. Korea's foreign ministry also released a statement in which it said that Dokdo is Korean territory and expressed a strong protest against Tokyo's, quote, unjust claims. The ministry urged Japan to look at historical facts and actively contribute to improving Korea-Japan ties based on mutual trust. Dokdo lies in closer proximity to Korea than Japan in the East Sea between the two countries and has long been a source of tension between the two neighbors. Experts believe Tokyo's renewed claim is likely to have an adverse effect on relations between Korea and Japan. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News.
North Korea has slammed South Korea, accusing it of hacking into the email accounts of South Korean diplomats, security officials and journalists, calling the claims irrational stubbornness. In a statement on its propaganda website Tuesday, Pyongyang said South Korea is once again making groundless claims that the North is behind an incident that happened within South Korea. It went on to say that South Korean prosecutors' claims that North Korean hackers attempted to break into the emails of 90 South Koreans lack scientific evidence and credibility. It also accused Seoul of trying to use North Korea to divert public attention away from pressing domestic concerns. On Monday, state prosecutors in South Korea announced that from January to June this year, 56 out of 90 email accounts had been compromised and dozens of passwords had been leaked. Now, the South Korean government has suspended sales of scores of Volkswagen and Audi models sold in the country. The models in question were caught up in an escalating scandal involving false claims over emissions, fuel efficiency and noise levels. E.G. Won has the details.
The Environment Ministry on Tuesday nullified the certifications of vehicles imported to the country by Audi Volkswagen Korea.
The Ministry of Environment revokes the certifications for 80 submodels of 32 models.
The cars can't be sold without the certifications, and the decision affects 83,000 cars in Korea that have already been sold, while sales of 11,000 cars will be banned. This comes after the ministry held a hearing last week where officials representing the automaker explained Volkswagen's position on the government's push to suspend sales. Although the German auto giant voluntarily suspended sales prior to that hearing, It denied any manipulation of emissions levels, but acknowledged making errors on test documents. But after the hearing and review, the ministry confirmed the sales suspension for 80 submodels and fined Audi Volkswagen Korea $16 million. It also plans to recall an unspecified number of vehicles to be announced at a later date. The government had already been moving to enforce a sales ban on the vehicles in question, including the Golf, Jetta TDI, Audi A6, and other diesel and gasoline models, saying test documents for emissions and noise levels were forged in order to get the certifications. After a final review, the ministry took out 2 overlapping models and added 3, the Audi A3, A8, and A8L. Audi Volkswagen Korea is already seeing its sales plunge in Korea, and it can't register new cars for sale, which will have an even bigger impact. 이지원, Arirang News.
Now, international oil prices fell more than 1% on Tuesday, erasing earlier gains. The retreat came as persistent worries of a supply glut offset the impact of a weak dollar that initially propped up the market. On the New York Mercantile Exchange, West Texas Intermediate for September delivery closed trading at $39.51 a barrel, down 1.4%. It's the first time in 4 months that WTI has slipped below the $40 level. Initially, oil prices rose sharply, backed by the dollar hitting a 6-week low, but worries over oversupply actually took over, bringing prices back down again. Just a day before, media reported that OPEC output last month was at an all-time high. Iraq, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia were seen to have increased production. Now, Amazon and Facebook have leapfrogged energy giant Exxon Mobil in market capitalization, making them the 4th and 5th most valuable companies in the world. The shift in spots now means the top 5 are all technology firms. Kim Hae-sung with the details.
Apple, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, and Facebook. The Silicon Valley tech giants are now the world's 5 most valuable companies. At the close of U.S. trading on Monday, Amazon and Facebook surpassed ExxonMobil to become the world's 4th and 5th most valuable firms based on market capitalization. The switch came a week after Exxon revealed their profits had tumbled 59% last quarter, leading to a more than 3% drop in the company's market capitalization on Monday. The oil giant has struggled amid falling oil and natural gas prices over the last couple of years, with its revenue dropping by $142 billion between 2014 and 2015. And oil prices slipped below the psychologically important level of $40 a barrel on Monday, further pulling down Exxon's stock price. On the other hand, Amazon posted its 5th straight quarter of profit, the biggest revenue increase in 4 years, thanks to its growing cloud computing business, moving up from 7th to the 4th most valuable company. All 4 other tech companies' earnings beat market expectations. While Apple's revenue between April and June fell 15% from the same period last year due to falling iPhone sales, it still beat market expectations and secured its position at number 1. Google's parent company Alphabet and Microsoft came in 2nd and 3rd, driven by their mobile ad sales and cloud business, respectively. Facebook came in 5th, with its net profit increasing 186% year-on-year, recording more than $2 billion, also driven by mobile advertising.
Tech companies are leading the stock market in the U.S. and Korea. As oil prices remain low and most investments are in the tech industry right now, IT companies are going to continue posting stellar earnings, and this trend is likely to continue for a while.
But just 10 years ago, the top 10 most valuable public companies were mainly banks like AIG, Citigroup, and Bank of America, with only one tech company, Microsoft, on the list. So tech companies will have to keep innovating to continue their lead in the stock market. Kim Hae-sung, Arirang News.
The Turkish government is cracking down on suspected terrorist groups following the recent failed coup attempt in Turkey. On Tuesday, Ankara sent Korea's foreign ministry a list of some 10 organizations suspected to have links to the Fethullah terrorist organization, a group the Turkish government claims was behind last month's uprising. The Turkish government vowed to crush linked organizations in other countries as well and has been demanding host nations shut down the groups on the delivered list. Seoul's foreign ministry, however, said it hasn't taken any action as Tokyo sent the list without filling a request to take certain measures. The organizations on the list include educational institutions as well as private firms. Well, that's all we have for now on this Wednesday morning here in Seoul. I'm Mark Bream. Thank you as always for tuning in. We'll be back throughout the day with more newscasts. Our next scheduled bulletin coming up at 10 a.m. Korea time. So until then, goodbye.